guys, today I want to share a quick story about how did I manage to join a top tier consulting firm in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia as a 26-year-old guy from Portugal. Why am I doing this video? Well, since I started posting videos about this new topic, this new experience, I've been getting a lot of messages both on LinkedIn and Instagram from people all over the world showing a lot of interest about not only Riyadh, but consulting, and asking me how did I do it. It would be useful to make this video to share a little bit about my story and maybe share some tips with you. This is not professional advice. This is literally my experience and how did I make it happen. So maybe hopefully you can learn something from it. So yeah, starting with my story, I'll try to be very brief. So I'm currently 26. I did my bachelor's from 2017 to 2020 in Portugal in a school called Nova School of Business and Economics. It's a pretty good school nowadays. And yeah, during these 3 years of my bachelor's, which I did in management, I was the pretty average student, average grades, didn't really know what I wanted to do, was not very ambitious, just liked to be with my friends, drink, go to the gym, play video games. I mean, I didn't do much. Eventually, I came across consulting. Everyone was starting to talk about it. Everyone was starting to apply to internships by the end of our last year at bachelor's. And yeah, eventually I started to learn about consulting and I became very interested on it because I learned that it's a path, a very safe path, especially for someone who doesn't really know what they want to pursue. And you can learn a lot the learning curve is very steep in consulting. So this is what sold me. And at that point, I started to shift my mindset to become very ambitious with a very specific goal that I wanted to join a top tier consulting firm, originally looking to go for a Portuguese office. That's where I was from. Moving forward a few months, years, I did a few internships. Eventually, I did my master's degree in finance at ESADE in Barcelona, also a very good school. And during the master's, I got in touch with a lot of people in consulting. People were trying to get in consulting, and this is when the Middle East comes into play. So many alumni from ESADE moved to the Middle East for some reason. I guess the school is very well connected to the Middle East offices, and that's where I started to gain a lot of interest in joining a Middle Eastern office, specifically Dubai back then. So I now had a very clear goal. I wanted to join a top tier consulting firm, strategy consulting firm in the Middle East, in Dubai. So I started networking a lot. I got a few internships. I didn't do very well in terms of practicing case interviews, and unfortunately I didn't succeed at all. Okay, I got a few first rounds. I didn't reach any final round, and yeah, that was pretty demotivating, but to be honest, I deserved it because I didn't do things properly. I ended up getting an internship at Amazon, which was cool. I did that internship. Then I applied again a year later into consulting again. I prepared a bit better this time, but again, didn't get any offers. Third year, this is where things changed. I completely changed my approach. I changed my preparation. I changed my networking approach. And eventually I managed to secure an offer from one of my dream firms. It was not a Dubai offer, it was a Riyadh offer, and that's something that I want to touch on. So right now, most consulting firms in the Middle East hire either to Riyadh or Doha, not to Dubai anymore, because either way, all projects are pretty much in Riyadh, Qatar, a few in the UAE, but yeah, I would say 80% of projects are in Riyadh. So they will try to locate you in Riyadh because then they don't have to pay for your flights every week. So you go to Dubai, travel back, and so on. So long story short, I ended up accepting the job offer in Riyadh. Initially, I was a bit skeptical. I didn't know much about Riyadh. Everyone that I talked with was living in Dubai, so it was a bit of a nervous moment because I didn't know anything about Riyadh. And yeah, I got the offer, and that's pretty much the story. Very short, very summarized version of it. So now I wanted to share a few tips. Hope you can learn from it, from my story. Number one is very cliche, but you should not give up. As you've seen from my case, it took me basically 3 years to finally get an offer that I was really happy with. And you need to understand that it's very harsh to get rejected, but it's totally part of the process. It's very rare that someone gets an offer the first trial. It is possible. I've met people who've done it, but it's not easy, especially if you're trying to join the Middle East region. It's very, very competitive. Many people all over the world are trying to join this region for many reasons. Primarily one being the salaries are very, very high. There are no taxes, and the living costs are relatively low if you compare to other places around the world. For example, New York, they also pay very, very high, maybe even higher than Riyadh, but then the living costs are easily 3 times more. So in terms of saving potentials, Riyadh is probably one of the best places to be at when it comes to consulting. So yeah, tip number 1, don't give up. It's more like a mindset shift. You need to understand this is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you fail your first trial, do not give up. It takes time, okay? Second tip is you need to make your story unique, especially if you don't have a very good background, track record, if you don't come from top universities, if you don't have amazing internships. Let's be honest, you are at a disadvantage. So you need to find a way to make your story unique. You need to highlight your CV in a way that shows you are a good profile. You bring something unique to the table. Otherwise, you'll just be another guy, another girl trying to compete with everyone else, everyone showing the same kind of skills. So you need to be very unique with your with how you present yourself in your CV. And when sending your CV, you should always ensure you have a referral. I don't know if this is a myth or not, but everyone always told me get a referral, and I always made sure throughout the 3 years I always tried to get a referral, ideally from someone more senior at the firm, manager, principal, ideally a partner. I managed to secure referrals from partners, and this is a numbers game. So you need to approach as many people as you can. Go on your LinkedIn network, check if you know people at the firm, if you know a friend who knows a friend at the firm, and try to connect with them, try to get on a call with them, ask them a few questions, show that you are interested, and understand if it's the right time to apply or not. Because even if you have an amazing profile, if it's not the right time to apply, you're wasting an application. So again, I have a very good profile in terms of your CV. Show that show your CV in a very unique way, and ensure when you submit your CV, your application, you have a referral backing you up, because that will increase your chances, and it's the first step to get the job. It's to go through the CV screening, which most people fail, to be honest. It's not easy. Well, I'm being a bit messy here, not being very organized in the way I'm giving you the tips. I'm just talking as I go through. But apply to as many firms as possible. Don't just focus on a few of them. There are at least, there are like 6-7 top tier firms. Of course, you have the MBB, the 3 best ones, but then you have very other good firms. And apply it to as many as you can. Even if you are not very interested, at least it gives you a chance to interview, to prepare, to get some experience on how the interview process goes. So apply to as many as possible. You don't have all your eggs in the same basket, if that makes sense. Now, if you manage to secure, to go through the CV screening, some firms require an online assessment. And at this point, this is where the case prep comes in very nicely, because usually the online assessments are based on case interviews. So the most important thing about all this interview process is the case interviews and the online assessment, which is based on case interviews. So what I suggest here is to practice as much as you can. There are many websites nowadays where you can practice cases with other candidates. I used one called Case Coach. This is not a promotion to them, but being very honest, I used them a lot. I practiced with over I did over 60 case simulations, so you just have an idea of how much I practiced. And yeah, some people managed to do very well with just 10 cases of practice under their belt. But I would say at least you should have 30 live cases practices before getting on a real interview. So yeah, practice as much as you can, and ideally always practice with someone. One of the main reasons I failed in my first 2 years trying to get this job was I was practicing always by myself, running these case simulations by myself, and that's very ineffective and a waste of time. So start practicing with people from day one. Of course, within the case interview preparation, this is a whole different topic, a very big topic, and I don't want to get into many details because there are very effective ways you can prepare and very bad ways you can prepare for these interviews. But the point is, practice as much as you can. Even if you are working or studying, you need to find a way to do cases on a weekly basis. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I know this video was a bit messy. I just really wanted to share my story. How did I do it? And give you some motivation that it's not an easy thing, okay? It takes a lot of time to prepare. You need to put a lot of effort if you want to make this happen. It's super competitive, and as the years go by, it becomes more and more difficult because more and more people are trying to get into. It's getting more competitive, more difficult. The quality of the talent is going up. So the truth is, it will just continue getting harder and harder. So yeah. If you want to talk on LinkedIn or Instagram, if you want to exchange some ideas, I'm more than happy to do it. I'll put both links in the description. I can make a future video about how am I enjoying my experience so far, because that's a whole different story. Now that I have the job, whether I'm liking it or not, it's a different story. But the point of this video was to show you, to share with you how did I do it, my story, and give you some tips. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Leave a like if you did. If you are new to the channel, subscribe and connect with me on the social media links I will leave in the description. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.